What's up, guys? My name is Robin and I make stuff. Today I'm taking you through a real life journey of where I struggled trying to come up with a composition to teach my class. Now you may be thinking, Robin, you can just knock it out of the park every single time. That's not the case. I, like many of you, want to feel really good about my painting. And in addition to that, I also want to be able to take my students through specific steps. Here is the reference photo that I found. Pretty simple, not a lot going on with the background. Facing forward, you can see his whole face. I loved it, but I'm on the struggle bus. I've painted this thing, gosh, probably like 6 or 7 times. And I did paint it once a few months ago, but I didn't really pay attention to how I painted it. And now here I am getting ready to teach this class and I can't remember the steps that I took. So I'm back in it trying to remind myself what to do, and I've painted it a bunch of times. I'm going to show you how to really scale it back. When you're struggling with understanding how to make something look the way that you want it to look, maybe start with just the values. And I've done lots of studies and teachings on just value and starting there. So I thought, rather than working on a larger piece of paper, I'm going to scale it down. That way I can go through it quicker and figure out what my problems are much faster. The problem with a big piece of paper is I have to fill more area, and as I get to the thing that maybe I'm like, I don't love that so much, it's taken me already a half hour to get to that point, and then I want to start over. So here's my pro tip for you. Go smaller. Do some quick studies. I got out my little tiny sketchbook. Here are my quick studies. We have a couple of little owls. I didn't love the background. I went with some green, and then I was like, yeah, I don't really know if I love that. And then over here, tried to just go maybe gray. I was really struggling with this background. What do I do with this background? I flip-flopped it. What do I mean? Instead of working light to dark, I decided to do a pen and ink drawing of this owl. So after doing my pen and ink drawing, I came up with this guy. And I really like how this one turned out. But I did all of the darks first, and then I came in with color at the end, some splatter, and it really just kind of came together. I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of how you can use pen and ink to do a value study and start to understand more about what works and what doesn't work. As usual, if you enjoy this video and you feel like you got something out of it, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, today's the day, my friend. Hit that button. All right, let's stop talking about it. Let's paint this owl. So here's what I'm going to be using today for this little quick demo. Art creation book. This is a 5x5, really like 4.7 inches by 4.7 inches by Royal Talons. I have a whole video about why I have this book and how it stands up to 100% cotton, because this is not 100% cotton. If you have a hang up about that, well, you can just hang up this video and move on. But ultimately, I love to work with 100% cotton, and this is wood pulp. Now, it stands the test pretty well, especially when there's not a huge commitment. There's a 4.7 by 4.7 inch commitment here. And honestly, we're going to use even just a section of that compared to the whole entire thing, but very low commitment on this size paper and this little book. You got 80 sheets, and if you use the back of them, that's 160 watercolor sketches or pen and ink sketches or pencil sketches you can do. I'm going to be using a number 6 round brush. I'm also going to be using my Rotring 800 pencil. Love this thing. It feels so high-tech and fancy, but I love it. I would actually buy another one because I love how it feels. It's nice and heavy. And then my Pilot parallel pen. Love this thing. They make different sizes of it. You can put whatever ink in it. You can actually refill the cartridge with waterproof ink, which is what I've done here. And that's going to be okay for what we're doing today, because we're going to go straight into adding water to the ink, and so not a lot of drying time. But the cool thing about this pen is, while you can get a really nice thin line, if you turn it on its side, now you're getting a much thicker line. So lots of versatility in this little pen, and I actually love how it performs. I have several of these that I keep on me all the time. First things first, even though I have drawn this owl a gazillion times, you haven't. So we are going to do a quick little tiny pencil drawing so I know exactly where I'm going. Now, if you notice on this one, I didn't draw anything here, and that was part of my struggle. I wanted to know where I should leave the whites, and so I want to make sure that the white of the belly is defined by the color on the outside. So I'm going to try really hard not to overpaint this little owl. So just kind of drawing this quick sketch in here and trying to get the basic shape of where things are, not thinking too hard about it, but I say that a lot. And if you're thinking too hard about it, then you're thinking harder than you need to. So this is just a sketch, right? This is not going to go into a frame or anything like that. It's more of like just a little practice thing. And I want to, see where this goes. So he's got his foot here, trying to get the basic shape of how that's working. And then he's got another foot down here. I just want to capture the feeling, right? So he's on this kind of stump thing, and then he's got this tail. Now his tail also gave me a bit of trouble when I was trying to mess around with this. See his eyes, his little beak. All right, that's about all I really need. Close enough. Now put that pencil away. We're going to go straight into our pen. So when I do this, I'm going to leave some areas unlined because I want the white of the paper to, really communicate that it's white feathers. So we'll go to the top of his head here and maybe around this like that, and then down the side where his wing is. Find that little tip of his wing, and maybe we'll stop right there. And then he's got this shoulder piece, so we'll put that in. And then his tail feathers. Shake your tail feather leg, really wanting to get how that feels on this log thing. So just a hint of his leg here, and that curving around, this curving around, that's curving around, and then he's got those talons, and then the other part of that log. All right, so far it's feeling pretty good. And then maybe part of the curve there. We don't want to do the whole entire face curve, so maybe just that. And then we'll do this eye. We'll paint that other eye in, and then a little bit of feathers there. Okay, that's it. I'm going to get my brush wet. How wet are we getting it? Well, I'm dipping it all the way in the water, smushing it on the bottom of the little bucket, and then I'll kind of wring it off on the side, and maybe so it's not drippy, we'll just kind of tap a little bit, not squeezing, just tapping. And then I want this whole, oh, you know what else I need to do? This part. Why didn't you tell me this needs to be done? It's kind of funny, but oh well. All right, so I'm gonna drag my brush right along that ink, and it's going to wet it and pull it. Okay, so I can use that to create some value. It's going to go around the side of his head here, and maybe a little bit there. And then down in here, we'll pull some of this color. So I'm literally just wetting the ink that I put down, some of this in here, and then I can pull that. So I have that ink on my brush. Now, if you're like, oh my gosh, isn't it gonna like stain your brush and be ruined? Why are you thinking so hard about that? It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Now, if I want a little bit lighter of this color, clean my brush off, my water, tap it dry, and then I can come over here and pull just a little bit. You might be like, what is that? What are you even doing? This isn't doing anything. Yeah, there's a little bit of color there, not a lot. So I tap it in that ink, and now I can come in here and just create a little bit of suggestion that there's some shadow in there. Definitely shadow here, but I want to leave a little bit of a gap between his shadow on these feathers and around that edge. It will create a natural little highlight. But his face has this line that's going straight down it, and so I want to kind of pull from that. Now, because this ink is waterproof, it's drying pretty quickly. Let's pull a little bit of this, and we'll start to create that edge, and a little bit of this here. Maybe there's some shadow underneath his wing, and definitely it's darker back here on his tail. So just a little bit of texture in here. I'm going to get a little more water. My brush is starting to dry out, and we're going to fill in this log, leaving his toes as white as I can, pulling the color from the lines, the ink. Suggestion of feathers there, maybe a little bit here. Okay, so now I have a value of this bird, but I want to put some darkness around the outside. So I'm going to opt to use ultramarine blue. So here's some that I already mixed up. Very light, medium, medium light, medium, medium dark, and dark. So this just has more burnt sienna mixed in, whereas this has more water mixed into it. So we're going to go somewhere in this medium range. I'm just going to mix those together. Okay, and we'll come around the outside of him here. Just kind of smush this color in. I'll get my brush wet, tap it dry, and then pull a little bit of that color around the outside so it's not so dark. And then down here, I want to use this dark color to define where his feet are and maybe where the side of his chest is just a little bit more. So just kind of smushing that around. Now, in this one over here, I went a little more blue. Can you do that? No, I'm just kidding. Yes, you can. You can do whatever you want. If I go a little more blue, just put that in here like this. Now, because this paper is not cotton, it doesn't flow the same as cotton paper might. It's a little bit of a hot press kind of vibe. So where you put the paint kind of stays. And then underneath here, I want this to be nice and dark. And that's not even the darkest we could go. Finding his tail feathers. Get a little more blue in here. I think the blue is kind of a nice contrast, especially against the browns in the barn owl feathers, which you'll see. And so this really helped me just kind of establish, okay, I don't want green for my background. I don't want brown like in the picture. I want something that's going to have some contrast to it and be somewhat interesting. Create a little bit more value means I want this darker, a little more up in here where his feathers are, kind of define where those legs are coming out of his body. Tapping this in around his body, some more up in here, around his head, clean my brush off, tap it dry, just pull a little bit of that. Now this paper doesn't hold up as well as cotton. It just starts to disintegrate a little bit the more water you use. So that's something to keep in mind too. If you're at a place where you really want to be able to rework and rework and rework, this might not be the paper for you. That's okay. Pull some of this way. Okay, so now we have that nice background. I'm going to put a little bit more blue in here because shadows are blue. Maybe a little tiny bit over there going around that eye. Okay, and maybe we have some wing feather definition here. Maybe there's some shadows. You know, I don't know. I'm just kind of playing with it, adding some shadows here and there, maybe a little more dark there. Okay, but now we can see our owl is really popping out. Let's go ahead and add some browns. So we're going to go burnt sienna. Boom. That's what we need right there. Now his feet are going to be brown on the top. He's got white feathers on his leg. So just the tops of those are fine. And then down at the bottom, this is where his feathers really are brown on his. So just kind of putting a few little areas in here of some brown. And my browns over here had a little bit more red in them. Okay, that's probably good. We don't want to overdo it. I'm going to put a few little dots of brown here and then maybe some around his beak, just a little bit. Around the top of his head. If you're like, what about his eyes? What are we going to do about that? We haven't gotten there yet. Just wait. Get a little bit more brown just for some darker pieces in here. Just layering on top. Quick. Let's splatter a little bit. So I'll get some more of that blue. And I'm just going to tap this on my finger close to the paper as I can. That's kind of how they look. All right. Now, we could just fill his eyes in with black pen, but why would we do that when we can paint it? Right? Right. So we're going to, I just want to show you, you can do some pretty controlled stuff if you control yourself. So control yourself on this. I'm going to get this as dark as I can. I'm using this Cotman paint. It's not the deepest pigment. It's got a lot of fillers in there. That's okay. It's a little fun little practice. Okay, so as I do his eyes, I want to leave a little bit white. So I'm just going to fill this in, leaving a tiny bit white. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Ooh, he looks so creepy. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to put a little more dark here on the side. That nice and dark, a little bit there where he's got a feather maybe kind of tucked, and we'll put a little bit more there and maybe back in there. Look, these guys are brothers. Okay, we're gonna put some on his little stump that he's hanging out at. So a little more of this dark color, pretty dark. I could go darker, but go. That's about all you really have to do. Now, if you don't love what's happening here, you could just go in and kind of soften that up. Not a big deal. Don't freak out. And even if it is kind of continuing to bleed out there, we like that. That's what watercolor is all about. That's what makes it feel cool and interesting. Okay, I think we're getting the hang of this owl now. So that's how I do a quick little sketch. Quick and simple, just a simple value study, and then you can add your color. Now I feel like I can go much bigger with this owl and be successful in instructing my students step by step what's most important, what we can leave white, and what needs detail and what doesn't. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time that I make stuff.